Good morning, Principal Ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Jyoti Ma'am. And dear Durgesh, over to you, Durgesh.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, Principal Ma'am, esteemed guests, respected teachers, and all student teachers. Let us start a day with light heart and a beautiful smile. I, Durgesh Kumari, student teacher B8 batch 2020, Army Institute of Education, feels privileged to welcome Mrs. Laveena Rajput, Principal APS Punjab, on the online talks. Ma'am will enlighten us on the topic the school, its function, and relationship with the society. Before going further, let us seek the blessing of Lord Almighty by reciting the Gayatri Mantra. Over to you, Manoj sir.
ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्.
Thank you, sir. Now, I invite Dr. Tanya Gupta, Principal, Army Institute of Education, to formally welcome Mrs. Laveena Rajput, Principal, Army Public School, Beas, for the online Principal Talk series. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Durgesh. Good morning, everyone. We are back with another engaging online principal talk. I'm very, very fortunate. I feel extremely honored that we have another very renowned academician with us today on board, Mrs. Laveena Rajput, who is presently the principal at Army Public School, Beas, Punjab. Ma'am, I welcome you on behalf of the management, staff, and student teachers of Army Institute of Education, Greater Noida. We are extremely privileged that you have accepted our invite for the program, and also this topic that is given, I would say not chosen, it is given by us because I feel that as principals, we know what we are working for and what we are really preparing our students for. And I'm sure you will agree that school has a very strategic role, a very important role for the society. So we are preparing the future citizens of tomorrow, and not only is our commitment towards our children, but also to give to our society those very responsible citizens who can work for their nation building as well as transform at the global level. I am here on behalf of my student teachers, the young lady that you see on screen, Miss Durgesh Kumari. Just to apprise you, ma'am, she is just joined us as the first year. She's a fresher student of the B.Ed batch. And we also have on board with us about 150 student teachers of the Army Institute of Education who are new to this program. And then we also have a senior batch who are going to intern in the various schools and the Army public schools in the next semester. Also on board, ma'am, are the alumni batches of the Army Institute of Education right from 2013 onwards. So the endeavor is that our own children who are, whether they are pursuing the course or they are working with the Army public schools or other renowned schools of the country or elsewhere in any other part of the world, they get a very hands on and experiential learning to interact with principles of your stature. I'm extremely humbled, ma'am, to welcome you. And the platform is all yours, and we will look forward to learn from you about what is the importance of school, its functions for the society. So grateful to you, ma'am. And now I will ask Durgesh to please carry forward the program.
Thank you, ma'am. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work by Aristotle. Now, I introduce you all to our today's guest speaker, Mrs. Laveena Rajput, Principal APS Beas. Ma'am is the principal at Army Public School Beas since 2017. Ma'am has 23 years of experience in education that includes 10 years of administrative experience in different Army public schools. Under Ma'am's leadership, APS Tibri and APS Beas has done exceptionally well. Ma'am has also been awarded GOC in Sea Western Command Commendation on Independence Day 2020 for her dedication and hard work in the field of education. I now hand over the platform to our honored guest speaker for the online principal talk.
Thank you, Durgesh, and thank you,
Over to
Dr.
you, ma'am.
Tanya, for giving me this
Welcome, ma'am.
opportunity. Thank you. So I'll just start with my presentation. I hope everybody can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So the topic given to me is school, its functions and relations with society. This is very interesting topic because I think the future of our nation, it depends on the school only, because the future citizens of our country, they are taking all the guidance from the schools. If I'm not wrong, we all must have observed when the parents at home, they tell anything to the child says, no, my teacher had said so, so that is only correct. I hope you agree with me. No child will listen to his mother or father if somebody else has been told by the teacher to him. He will always say that my teacher is right and my parents may be wrong. So that is school plays in the life of the child. You can understand it very well. Now, in my presentation today, we'll discuss certain things. One is what is school, what is society, what is the relation between the school and the society, the role of the society in the school, and the importance of the school in the society.
Is there any connectivity issue?
It is created due to the social needs of people. Earlier, there were madrasas, there were temples where the children were educated. That was in the time of Vedic periods. Later, when the time changed, when Britishers ruled over India, the need changed. How the need changed? Because
Good afternoon, ma'am. I hope Principal ma'am has lost her connection, I think. She's
Yes,
not
ma'am.
on the board. Yes, ma'am.
Just trying to get in touch with her, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. No problem, ma'am.
Uh, Good morning, ma'am. Convey to her. She'll be joining us. She's just joining us. Yeah. Hanji, ma'am. Morning, ma'am.
I think I got disconnected. So we were talking about what is school. Right. So first of all, I'll give you the dictionary meaning of the school. School is an institute for educating children. So basically, this is what we know about the school. School is generally, when somebody thinks about the school, we associate ourselves with a huge building which carries the name of the school. Then we can think about the students, instructions which are given in the school, the teachers, and the administration. This is the first picture which comes in the mind when we think about school. But I must tell you that school is basically a social institution which is created to serve the social needs. If we go back to the Vedic period, you all know that basically in the Vedic periods, the children go to the religious places to take education. They were sent-
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Would please request you to share your PPT. Abhi, we are not able to see it on the screen. Hanji, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
एक मिनट एक मिनट I'm just trying to share it. Just give me a minute.
No. Sure, ma'am.
PPT share. It's visible. Ma'am, is it visible now?
Yes,
Is it
ma'am.
visible? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right. So basically, school, like in Vedic periods, the children, they used to go to the madrasas, they used to go to the temples to take education because the needs of the society were different at that time. Now, when the Britishers came in India and they started they were looking for the clerk, for the people who could do the clerical jobs, because it was very difficult for them to bring the people from England and take clerical job from those people in India. Because at that time, basically what used to happen was the salaries were high as per the need of the work. So what they planned was that they created these schools so that the children in India could be taught English and certain clerical works which could be taken from them in India itself. So that was the need of the society at that time, and schools were made accordingly. But now this need has changed, so therefore basically the demand from the school has also changed. So basically this definition that school is a social institution created to serve social needs is, I think, the most appropriate definition for the school. Now we'll go for what is society. Now basically, again, the dictionary meaning says that society is the aggregate of people living together in a more or less ordered community. So any people living in particular area, we call that particular area as a society. In a society, basically, there is a large group which shares the same area, which shares the same boundaries, and again, the same political order or the cultural expectations. Now, for a person, we cannot say that one particular society is part of that person. No, a person may belong to several societies at one particular time. For example, when a person is, suppose, a Hindu, then his religious society is different. The same person, when he's a doctor also, then his society changes. Then his society is his professional society is of all the doctors in that area, or maybe a larger community. And then again, basically what we can say is that when a person is living in one particular area, then people which may belong to different religions, which may belong to different language, different culture, different professions, they all also become a part of the society. Now, what is the relation between school and society? According to John Dewey, the school is society itself. Why he called school as a society? Because like in a society, we have got multiple type of people living together. The same is the case in the school also. We have children from different communities. We have children from different types of backgrounds who may be speaking different languages, who may belong to different religions, whose parents may be working in different professions. So that's why when they all come together and live together, they study together, then it becomes a society in itself. Now, how are societies linked with the schools? Schools shape children's perception of the world. And the values, beliefs, and norms of the society are internalized with the children so that they can think and act like other members of the society. Basically, this is the main expectation of the people from the children when they go to the school. They want their children to learn certain norms so that they can fit in the society properly. They can these norms may include the values, these norms may include the language which the children need to speak in the society. So it also includes children to learn the adjustments. Now, school reflects society and society reflects the school. If the school is good, then automatically the society is good. And if the society is good, then it is actually interlinked. If the society is bad, then the school also may not be very good. So basically, both the things are interlinked. A good society makes a good school makes a good society. Now, role of society in the school. Now, we cannot say that school can decide upon its objectives by itself. No, it is the expectations of the people which are kept in mind while making a school, while making the curriculum of a school. So basically, whatever is expected by the society, whatever is expected by the nation, that is kept in the mind while framing the rules and regulations or maybe the curriculum in a school. Parents' decisions, it also plays a very important role because it influences the academic performance of the students. At the same time, it affects the future of the students. Education of any society has a direct correlation with the socio-cultural factors. If you see around yourself, you will find different types of schools which are basically based on the socio-cultural factors. There are certain schools which are promoting one particular religion or one particular type of society. So that is what is happening around us. Now, importance of school in society. It leads to economic development and growth. See, in the school, we are training the children on certain things which will lead to the growth of the country. School helps in transferring the existing cultural content from one generation to another, because children are learning everything from the school. So the school plays the main important role in transferring the cultural content from the generations to the next generations. The school helps in preparing students for the future. So that is the most important thing which the school is doing. So it has got a very important role to play in the lives of the children. Now, what are the other roles of the school in the betterment of the society? See, when we are preparing our children, we are preparing them not only for the examination, but we are preparing them for the future of the nation. So if the school is playing its role properly, then what is going to happen? It is going to make people healthier, because we are teaching the children to how they can live healthy life. Then it will increase the income of the nation. It promotes the girls and women rights. It reduces poverty, because all these factors definitely are going to reduce the poverty. It is going to save children's lives. It is going to boost economic growth, and it is going to raise the crop yields. And finally, it is going to foster the peace in the society. So these are the important roles which the school is playing in the life of the children or in the society. Now, how can school plays an effective role in shaping society? See, the first important thing is that we have to accommodate the child. When a child comes to the school, he may belong to a different background. He may belong to a very poor family also. There may be other children who belong to rich family. They may be the children with the special needs. They may be the children from the broken families, or there may be certain other problems in the families of the children. So basically, the first important role that the school plays or the teacher plays in the life of the child is to accept that child in the school system, to approve him, to appreciate him, so that he can gain the self-confidence. Every child is unique. You cannot expect same thing from all the children. You have to see a child as an individual, and you have to fulfill his needs. You cannot say that what I'm teaching to one child should be applicable to all the children, or the methodology which I'm following with one child should be applicable to all the children. No. Every child has got a different quality. We have to look into those qualities, and we have to design the curriculum accordingly. We have to behave in the class accordingly. And finally, when the child goes out of the school, he should be ultimately a successful child. He should have his own personality. We also have to ensure that child develops self-confidence and self-esteem. Nowadays, this is a very important factor, because any child who is not confident in himself, who doesn't have his own self-esteem, will not be a successful citizen in the country. He'll not contribute well in the nation. Then we also have to provide safe and secure surroundings to the children, and we have to give appropriate guidance and discipline to the child. These are the main functions which the school has to perform in the life of the child. Now, when we talk about the school, because there are all the children who have joined, all the people who have joined this session, they are basically the student teachers. So now this presentation is basically from them. So they need to understand their role in the child development. So when we talk about the child development, I'll not be talking about anything theoretical which has to be done by the children, that you are already doing in your syllabus. You have already studied in your books the philosophies given by different educationists. I'm going to talk about the things which we actually need on the ground, although they are coming out of those philosophies only. It's not that I'm going to tell something from my own side. All those things have evolved out of the philosophies given by different philosophers, different educationists. But I'll be talking to you about those philosophies in a practical manner, which we are generally expecting from our teachers when they are in the classrooms. Okay, so the first and the foremost skills, which are called the life skills, a teacher has got a very important role to play in developing these skills in the child. First is decision making. The times have changed. Early times, when the children used to study in the older system, whatever the teacher used to say was the final say. But now the time has changed. Now what is being expected from the teacher is different. We want teachers to develop these skills in the children, which should make them good at making decisions. The children who can be creative thinkers, who can solve the problems, the children who have effective communication, who have empathy, and who can cope up with the emotions. These are the skills which we require from the children now. Then we want the teachers to create literate and productive society. When we are saying create literate and productive society, there are certain things which are involved in it. One is like the child should have good speaking skills, the child should have good listening skills, and child should have good talking skills. If you observe, then reading skills, that is very important. The child should have reading skills. The child should have writing skills. If you all agree with me, when we see the children, they are appearing in the examination, they are writing applications, they are writing letters to the editors and everything else in their examinations. But finally, when it comes to their real life, when they actually have to write a letter to somebody, they are not able to do so. Why it is so? Because most of the time, the children are only cramming the things which they have to vomit out in the examinations. We are not helping them in applying these things into their real life. So that is the bigger problem, that children are not able to develop these skills in their life. And now we want the teachers to develop these skills in the lives of the children. Viewing is the another option. Viewing, what they have to view. It is very important. We have to teach the children what they should view, how they should analyze what they are viewing. Not that they should follow what is being told, like in television or in internet, they are observing something and they say, yes, this is correct, because it is being told by so many people. No, it should not be the case. Every child should be able to categorize what he has to see and how he has to analyze that situation. Then creativity, no doubt. He should not be a follower. He should be able to create things of his own. And then technology. Technology is also very important. When we are saying technology, then it doesn't mean that he should only be able to use the technology in his daily life. He should also be able to understand how technology can harm him, how the technology can help him. These are certain things. Then how he can stay safe while using technology. Because when we are seeing the people using technology, they are falling into different problems also. So how to use technology safely so that it is helpful to the child, or it should bring him something good. He should not be troubled because of the technology. That is also very important in the lives. Then prepare children with tools needed for future success in the job market. This is also very important. If you go through the curriculum, I don't know how many of you, some of you must be already in teaching, so you are very well aware, and those who are still studying in B.Ed, they are not aware of the curriculum which is being followed by CBSE. There are certain skill subjects which have been introduced in the classes, right from class 6 onwards. They have given certain skill subjects because the purpose of the education now is that every child should be able to fetch job for himself, or he should be able to produce job for other people. You all have heard Narendra Modi saying again and again about Atmanirbhar Bharat. What is Atmanirbhar Bharat? How can the people become Atmanirbhar? How can the children become Atmanirbhar? The dream of our Prime Minister, it can be fulfilled only in the school itself. It cannot be fulfilled by the children on their own. School has to play a very important role in it, and that's why CBSE has introduced certain skill subjects where the children are given training, basic training on the job, on the requirement, on fields which are required in the market. Then they are given some competence in it. It is not only just giving a primary training, but giving them some important competency level, in bringing them some competency level, because it is not only from class 6, it is in the senior classes also. Children can opt for these subjects. Then they should have learning, practical learning of those things, knowledge, no doubt, advanced training. Then they should be able to again think on the lines which can so that they can produce something new. And then also having some experience. It's not only the theoretical part, it is also giving them some practical knowledge in the fields. Like in B.Ed, you people go to the schools and teach. The same is here also. When we are teaching the skill subjects to the children, we are also giving them some industrial training where the children go out of the school and then practice all these skills in the field, so that when they go for the jobs, they don't get lost over there. They know already what is to be done in this particular job. Then soft skills. This is also a very important part in the life of the students, because what all comes in the soft skill, it is the leadership. It's not only that we want that children should only be the followers. No. Now more stress is being laid on making the children leaders in the society, because it is only when the children, they are the leaders, they can create the jobs. Like I said, Atmanirbhar Bharat, it is possible only when we create this leadership skill in the children. Then second is the teamwork. It is very important, because we can see a child doing the work on his own, but when it comes to the team, then the children are not able to associate with the other children. Sometimes they fight over the things. Sometimes they say that I can do it on my own, but I don't want the other child to contribute into it. So all these things, working in the team, is also to be taught. It is very important that the teachers, when they are giving some projects, they make the children sit in the teams and then take the results out of it. It should not be the work should not be dominated by one particular student. It should be done in a collaborative manner where all children, they contribute equally. And when we are forming these teams, then the teams can be of the multiple type of children. It should not be that all intelligent children or all children who have great minds be made to sit in one team. The teacher has to play a very important role in deciding what team is to be there. Then communication. Most of the time, the lines of communication are closed amongst the students. They don't communicate with one another. They want to keep their ideas with themselves. So that is again a bigger problem. And then when they communicate, how effectively they communicate, that is also very important. They should be able to give their message. They should be able to help other understand the message. Their message should be very clear. This comes under the communication skills. Language doesn't matter here. It is not important that every child should be learning English only. Whatever language they are communicating in, it should be effective. That is basically the communication skill. Interpersonal skills. Again, when we say interpersonal skills, that means how he's able to handle the situations, how he's able to handle the different type of people which are there. Maybe now when we are talking about the school, then we have to see that how he is having the relations with the other children. There may be the children with the special needs, how he is behaving with those children, whether he's compassionate, whether he's not talking to the other children with special needs, he's keeping himself aloof, or he's more dominating, whether he can listen to the instructions given by the other people. So these all things, they come under interpersonal skills. And the most important is the time management. This is the most important thing which we can teach to the children, because what is mainly lacking in the children nowadays is time management. Now children have got so many things to do. They have so many things in their hand. There are so many possibilities. There are so many things available in the market which they can train themselves upon. But the only problem is that they don't know how to manage their time. So that is also a very important thing which the children should know. Now, basically, the most important role which the school plays, that I've already discussed with you, it is in the very practical manner, that these are the things which we are expecting from the schools. Now, the school plays different roles at different levels. When we talk about the individual levels, I'm just concluding what I've said. When we are saying that at an individual level, all those skills which I said are to be taught to the children, they are at the individual level. How are those skills going to help the children? First is they will help these children in socialization. When the child is going out in the society, when he's passing from the school and going in the colleges, or he's going into the jobs, then basically he should know how he is going to adjust himself into the society, how he is going to follow the norms of the society, how he is going to adjust himself, how he is going to do something better in the society. This all will come under socialization. Then providing skills and knowledge. Like we already discussed, that there are different skills. There are social skills which are to be given to the students. There are professional skills which are to be given to the students. Then there are soft skills which are to be given to the students in the school. So these all are the skills. These all are the knowledges which are to be imparted by the teachers in the school, and they are going to implement all the children. These are going to implement all these skills in their daily life when they pass out of the school. Then provides prosperous and happy life. Obviously, if the children have these skills, they get good jobs, they are not unemployed or underemployed, and they are getting good salaries, and they are able to adjust into their family life, they are able to adjust into the society in a proper manner. then definitely they are going to be very prosperous, and they will be able to lead a happy life. So this is the very important role which these are the important roles which the school plays in the life of the child. Now, how is it going to help the community? See, when a child is happy, then obviously the child is going to be, to make his family happy, he's going to make his society happy. Now, when I'm talking about the child, I'm not talking about the child when he's in the school. When he's in the school, definitely at that time he's important, but most important thing is when he passes out of the school, how he behaves when he goes out of the school, and he actually deals with the community independently when there is nobody to guide him. So that is the time when actual picture of the child comes out, and when his learnings are actually going to be seen by the people outside. So how the school is playing an important role in the community level? First, it is going to help meet family goals and successful children. See, when a parent is sending a child to the school, he has certain aspirations in his mind. The parent has some expectations from the school. He has something in his mind for which when we are choosing the school for our children, we see certain schools, we see the vision and mission statements of those schools. Why do we do so? Because we want to see whether their vision and mission statements, they are in accordance with our vision and mission statement or not. So that is very important. If their vision and mission matches with our own vision and mission, then only we send a particular child to that particular school. So that means there are certain aspirations, there are certain expectations which the parents, they have from the schools. And when the teacher teaches the children, or when the school frames its curriculum, then basically they are keeping these expectations in their mind. And if we are able to fulfill these expectations, then definitely we are going to help in meeting the family goals, and we are able to help the people raise their children successfully. It's not the parents who are raising their children, it is basically the schools who are raising their children nowadays. Then when we are teaching the children certain skills, then we are giving them more options in a competitive marketplace. It's not that we teach him only one particular skill. A child is only good in writing examinations well, and he's able to score 90 to 100% marks. And when he goes out in the competition, he's not able to cope up. He gets stressed, or he is good at only one particular thing, and he's not like, if he's only good at studies and he doesn't know how to use the technology, then nowadays where that child is going to get the job? He'll not be able to face the competitive market. So basically we have to teach different skills to a child, so that when he goes out in the market, he's able to cope up with the situations, he's able to make a place for himself, get a good job, get good earnings, and then only I think the school will be successful. The success of a school doesn't lie in the percentage of the marks which the child score. It lies in the number of the children who are accommodated in good jobs, who have become successful in their life, who are able to contribute back to the society. That rate of that number of children from a particular school will actually determine the success of a particular school. Giving them cramming certain things and just fetching marks is very easy. That should not be the aim of the school. Now, how the school plays an important role at the national level, what are we contributing as a school in the nation? First, it acts as an agent of change. You all will agree with me that whatever changes we want to bring in the society, those changes are first to be introduced into the school, because that is the learning stage for a particular child. And the new NEP has come, new education policy has come. What was the need to change this national education policy? Because we want to bring the change in the society. We want to bring the change in the nation. So that's the reason why the educationists, they have gone through the older education policy and brought certain changes in the education policy, so that now it can meet the requirement of the nation. So basically the schools, they act as the agent of change in the society, and that's the reason why schools are looked at for certain things which are to be introduced in the nation. Then it leads to economic development. Economic development, again, why? Because when our children, they are successfully engaged in some productive work, then definitely the economy of the country is developing. Like, as I told you earlier also, Atmanirbhar Bharat is there, skill education is there. When our children are skilled and they are able to generate the jobs for the other people also, then what is happening? It is contributing to the economy of the country. So basically, It is the most important role which is being played by the schools at the national level. And third is the giving back to the society. When we are introducing certain projects in the school, like we are doing tree plantation, when we are taking the children to the old age homes, we are taking them to the orphanages and all, or we are associating ourselves with some socially productive work, what are we doing? We are basically teaching the children a skill of giving back to the society. We are inculcating certain values in the children, with which they will understand that it is not only a take situation, it is give and take situation. Basically, whatever we are getting from our country, whatever we are getting from our society, we definitely have to give it back to the society. And it happens only when we are teaching compassion to the children, we are teaching empathy to the children. So these all things are being taught at the school level, when we are taking them to different organizations to work with different NGOs and all. And now this has become an important need of the time. And that's why the students, when they are sent to the jobs, they are asked for certain works which they may have done with the NGOs and all. So school has very important role there also. And definitely they should take up certain projects in which the children are involved productively in giving back to the society. So that's all from my side. If any questions are there, I would request the children to ask if they have some queries.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable insight on the topic, the school, its function, and relationship with the society. This session is open to questions now. I request Ms. Shweta Rana, student BA teacher, batch 2019-21, to cover the question session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Durgesh. Education is for improving the lives of others and for leaving your community and world better than you found it. Said by Marian Wright Edelman. With this inspiring thought, I would like to thank Ms. Laveena Rajput ma'am for imparting such precious knowledge to us. Now, let's move towards our next segment of question answer round, in which we will ask question to our guest speaker on behalf of our audience. Our first question is from Darshan. What strategy can we create and maintain a lasting relationship between a teacher and a student?
Can you just repeat your question?
Yes, ma'am. What strategy can best create and maintain a lasting relationship between a teacher and a student?
Okay. So when we are talking about maintaining the lasting relation between student and teacher, I think when we involve ourselves, when we first involve ourselves in identifying the needs of the children, it's not only the education that we should just not focus on what we have to teach to the child. We have to focus on the needs of the child also, like from when we engage ourselves in looking into the background of the child, like from which background is he coming, what he might need in the classroom, what support he needs from the teacher. It may be the emotional support from the teacher. It cannot only be the educational support, it can be the emotional support also. Like if we find that a child is not able to adjust well in this well in the group, so when we are teaching all these things to the child, and we are reaching to the child at the time of need, it's not only that we are related to the child for the 40 minutes which we have in the class, but we are also looking at the child beyond those 40 minutes also. Then I think the child develops a relation. He might not feel at that particular time that this teacher has done something special for me, but when the child passes the school, or when he actually goes into the when he leaves the school and goes into the society, and when he feels the need of the help of other children for himself, then sometimes the child realizes that yes, my teacher at that particular time had helped me in one particular situation. And I think such kind of empathy, such kind of relation which we build with the child at that particular time brings a long lasting relation. It cannot be brought only by teaching the content of the books to the child. We have to go a little beyond those books and relate ourselves with that particular child.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next question is from Ritika Mehta. While schools mainly focuses on exams or repetition of chapters, instead of focusing on the expertise skills or the areas in which students are interested.
I think Pam has lost connection again. Just a moment, please.
Sorry, it got disconnected. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Pam.
Our next question is from Ritika Mehta. While schools mainly focuses on exams or repetition of courses, instead of focusing on these expertise skills or the areas in which students are interested.
I think the competition which we bring in the in between the schools, like even if we talk about the army public schools, I don't know how many of you are the products of army public schools. We are always talking about the performance index of the schools. So the focus of the teachers and maybe the administration also changes to the marks that that are scored by the schools, and the competition which is amongst the other private schools also. If you see around yourself, there are big hoardings stating that how many students have scored above 90% marks, 95% marks, because most of the parents still have in their mind that it is the marks which are going to fetch jobs for their children. It is the marks which are going to fetch good colleges, admission in good colleges for their children. And that's why the most important focus, the main focus which is of the parents and of the teachers also, is the marks that are obtained by the students. There are different reasons for it. Parent is looking at the marks because he wants his child to be the successful. He has to boast about the marks of his children to the other people. In the whenever any relative is asking how many marks has your child got, so the parent definitely has a reason to be behind the marks of the child. Similarly, the schools, they also have to boast about the marks of their children because they have to put up huge hoardings. There are so many schools flourishing nowadays. There were so many schools mushrooming nowadays that they want to fetch more and more children in their particular school. So how they do it? They do it by showcasing the marks which have been highest marks which have been scored by their children. So somewhere to fetch the marks, because every child has got that particular time only in the life. So basically everybody is focusing on the marks. They are not bothered about the skills. And as I told you, nobody knows that what the child is doing after he is leaving the school. Like if it is my school, I may not be knowing that what about the 100% of the students, what they are doing in their life, whether they have successfully got the jobs or not. So that's not my focus. My focus is only till the time the child is in my school. So what becomes important till that time is the marks of the child. And that's the reason I think we are not focusing much on the skill development of the students. And I think with time we should change our strategies. We should focus more on the skill education, because ultimately the success of a school should be gauged by the success of the child in the life. It should not be gauged by the marks which he has obtained. So as teachers, you people also have to change your mindset. That's what I said in my presentation also. We need to change our mindset, and that change has to come from the teachers. It will not come from parents or not from the society, because changing that will happen only if we are changing our children. And for that, first of all, we have to change our own mindset.
Our next question is from Priyanka Singh. What outcomes for the gifted are most valued in contemporary life?
What? I couldn't hear that.
Yes, ma'am. What outcomes for the gifted are most valued in contemporary life?
You are asking about the gifted children?
Yes, ma'am.
So what outcome should be for the gifted children? Isn't it?
Yes,
This is
ma'am.
your
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
okay. See, when we are talking about the gifted children, that means they have got certain special abilities, isn't it? This is what is there.
Yes,
so when
ma'am.
we say children are gifted, then that means they have certain special abilities, and we as teachers have to identify those. When we are not identifying those gifts of the children, when we are not aware about the special qualities of the children, we are expecting them to perform in the same manner like other children. We are not giving something special to those children. And basically then what happens is those children, they become very hyper, or they may become the attention seekers. And that leads to the trouble of the teacher and of the school, I suppose, because we are not identifying those qualities of the child, and child is not feeling very happy in the class, and that leads to the problems for the teachers. The child keeps disturbing the class because he already knows what has been taught in the class. He is a step ahead of what is being done in the class. So basically what I feel is the teacher should always, when he or she is planning her lesson, so he and she should always keep in mind, I don't know what is the syllabus of B.Ed nowadays, but when we used to study at that time also, there used to be the columns where we have to keep in mind the children of different types. Like we have to keep in mind the children who are slow learners. We have to keep in the mind the gifted children also. So certain strategies have to be planned for different types of children, so that the teacher can keep all kinds of children engaged in one particular class. And if we engage them, like what I find is, when the teacher, she finds a child very hyperactive, the most of the time what we do is we keep sending those children out of the class to do different petty jobs which are to be done, like go and fetch my register, go and call that particular child, because we just want to keep that child away from the class because that child is disturbing the class. So that should not be the case. When we are planning our lesson, we should have certain strategies with ourselves where we can keep that child productively engaged. It should not be that we are just giving them the jobs which may not help him in bringing out his creativity. So that is very important here.
Our next question is from Jyoti Kumari. She's asking how we can help students to develop their skills in different fields.
See, what I have observed as a principal is that the focus of all the teachers again is on the marks only. Whenever a child, he wants to participate in certain competitions and all, the teacher doesn't appreciate that. She wants her child in her class only all the time. She doesn't allow the child to go and participate and practice for the competitions. So basically, how will the child develop these skills? It cannot happen only in one particular period, like he goes once a week, we get a music period and the child goes there and he practices on the harmonium or any other musical instrument, and then he gets the skills. No. So basically, I think we will have to, like CBSE has also told, that we have to add certain skill education subjects in our syllabus, in our curriculum, so that the child get more exposure to those skills. So the same thing we'll also have to do is that if we find a child good at particular skill, we have to promote that skill. We'll have to appreciate that skill. We'll have to help the child in gaining more in that particular skill. Again, a role of teacher becomes very important, because she has to actually identify the skills or the good qualities of their children and help them in developing those qualities, so that they can make these qualities, these skills as their maybe mode of earning in the future. So that is important.
Yes. Our next question is from Dr. Jyoti Tiwari ma'am. She is asking, how can a school be an agent of breaking gender stereotyping?
See, here something very important comes in play. Like when we say that the class is to be decorated, automatically what happens is we generally give this task to the teacher, to the girl students, isn't it? And when we have to send the child somewhere out, we prefer a boy to go out and do a particular job, isn't it? So somewhere or the other, it comes from the teacher only, because we have been brought up in a society in this manner only, that this work, if there is something to be cooked, then this work is to be done by the girl only, and if some thing is to be brought from the market, then it is to be done by the boy only. And the same thing happens in the classroom also, that we categorize the work. Some register is to be maintained, we will prefer to give this work to a girl. Why we prefer to give this work to a girl? Because we think that girls are more sincere, or maybe they are more systematic. So this stereotyping has been brought up in the classroom by the teacher itself, and it has to be eradicated by the teacher only. So the best thing which we can do is that when we are giving the work to the children in the classroom, we should not think that the child is a boy or a girl. We should be neutral. We should be thinking about the qualities which the child have, not by the gender. And like games also, when we say that if the boys say that we want to play cricket, we will assume that girls cannot play cricket, and we'll say, Acha, what do you want to play? Girls can tell some other game which they can play. Why can't we tell the girls also to play the cricket? We'll never do that. So basically, it has to be changed by the teacher again.
Our next question is from Darshan. If school play a better role, why students need tuition or coaching? Where is our school lacking?
No, I don't think that it is because of the school that the parents are sending their children to the coaching. It is because of the coaching that students are lacking interest in the classrooms. This is my observation, and I'm sure about it. If the children stop going to the tuitions, they'll definitely listen to the teacher in the classroom more attentively. It is because they have in mind that we'll go to the tuitions and understand this topic again from our own tuition teacher. That is the reason that children stop listening to the teachers in the classrooms. And parents, because they don't want to devote that much time with the children, they want to keep themselves free. I think that's the reason they want to send their children to the tuitions. Why a child of class nursery has to go to the tuition? Is the parent that uneducated that they cannot even teach ABC to their children? No. It's only because they don't want to lose their freedom. This is my opinion. I may be wrong in this, but my observation is this only, that generally because the parents, they don't want to engage themselves, that's the reason they are sending them to the tuitions. And when the child feels that the tuitions teacher is more approachable, I will understand the things from them, and in the school I should engage myself in with the friends only. That's the reason they are not listening to the teacher. And I can bet upon this, because I have seen many examples in my previous school in APS Tribri, where the children, when they were going to the tuitions, they told the teacher that that particular teacher teaches better than you, so I will understand that from that particular teacher only. And ultimately he used to disturb the whole class, because he had more faith in his tuition teacher. And when the child is not at all listening to the teacher in the class, how will he understand what the teacher is saying? So basically, tuition culture has to be stopped. If it stops, then definitely the faith in the schools will increase.
Our last question is from Pushpa Kumari. How school can ensure proper implementation of National Policy 2020?
I think CBSE still itself is confused how to implement this. That's why they are asking for the suggestions from the teachers. They have had many competitions where they want the ideas from the teachers how to implement it. Because there are so many things which are new for the people here. First thing, when they are saying that they'll start with the classes, pre-nursery classes to class 2, and it has to be now in the mother tongue. So that can lead to a problem when the children, because especially in the schools like ours, where the children, they are from different communities, which language do we follow? This is a big problem for us. We are also thinking upon it, like how many languages are we going to opt for? Moreover, then they are saying that it has to be multidisciplinary. That means there are many subjects which are to be combined. Like a child taking biology can also go for music. He can also go for economics. So how do we create the timetable in that particular case? So definitely the policy can be implemented, but it will take a lot of it's mind-blowing. There have to be certain sessions which have to be basically discussion sessions which have to be conducted. And now CBSE has started with the training programs on NEP, and they are definitely going to give us some route map on which we can work upon. No doubt the policy is definitely a wonderful policy which they have brought, because otherwise what we were doing was we were categorizing the children into different streams, and that particular child was only made for, like, if the child has taken medical stream, if he doesn't become a doctor, then not many options were left for the child. And sometimes the children may not be interested in going for any other field. But now when they are making it multidisciplinary, I think if the child likes bio and he wants to become doctor, at the same time he also is good at music. If he doesn't become doctor, at least he's got some other option to do in life. But earlier it was not so. So children had some compartmentalization, and children were actually in pain. But I think this NEP policy is going to definitely help the children. The only problem is that we need to work on it. We need to study it very well and design the things accordingly, because now we will have to, now there will be no TGT, PGT and all those things. I don't think those things will work, because for one particular subject we will have to have multiple teachers, because now the children may choose different subject combinations. Otherwise rest of the things I think are in favor of the children. No doubt the schools are going to have a tough time for some time, but once it is implemented properly, then it will definitely help everybody.
Heartful thanks to ma'am for your valuable answers that were given by you. Now, I would request Dr. Saloni Goyal ma'am to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, Durgesh, and thank you, Shweta. Good morning and a warm welcome to our esteemed guest, Miss Laveena Rajput, Principal, Army Public School, Beas, Dr. Tanya Gupta, Principal, Army Institute of Education, dear colleagues, and all student teachers. At the outset, a heartfelt thank you to our guest speaker on behalf of our management, the entire staff, and all the participants for sparing time from her hectic schedule and for sharing her views on the topic for today. The views and presentations that were shared by you, ma'am, surely bring out the relationship between the school and the society very, very aptly. Very rightly shared by you that school is a reflection of the society and, of course, a very important agent in bringing about the change that we all need to see. We as teachers also have a very crucial role to play, and I'm sure all the children and the participants here will truly be benefited with your views and opinion. Also, the vision of our Prime Minister can be realized very well through the school. I'm quite sure that this platform will surely catapult their learning and provide them with realistic knowledge. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again for the real fruitful session that we've had today.
Thank you so much.
I now hand over the platform to Shweta. Over to you, Bete.
Thank you, ma'am. Every national anthem is so melodious, yet the most soothing and touching one ends with Jaya Hi. I would request everyone to kindly take position for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
That's all for today's Principal Talk series. Once again, thank you, ma'am, for such imparting knowledge. Now, I would request Manoj sir to kindly end the meeting. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day,
Thank you so
everyone.
much, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Same here. Thank you so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.